Super welcome to this video where I will go through some absolute banger demos that you can play right now. Some of them are very well hidden, some of them not so well hidden, but all of them are must freaking plays. So let's dive into it. Let's go. Kicking things off, we have Afterblast, a high-energy roguelike first-person shooter developed by just two brothers. In true roguelike fashion, you'll be blasting your way through room after room, collecting loot in the form of new weapons and passive upgrades. Each completed area rewards you with 1 or 2 chests, keeping the dopamine flowing as you power up. Now the game features 4 distinct biomes, each with its own enemies, arenas and environments. However, in the demo you're limited to just the first biome, and the midway point and end of each biome has a boss fight waiting for you, ready to put your skills to the test, or at least that's the idea. Now being a roguelike, you'd expect some solid permanent upgrades back at the hub to boost your strength for future runs. Unfortunately, none of these were unlocked in the demo, but here's the thing, they weren't even needed. The demo was so easy that I felt like I could bulldoze through the whole damn game just with the passive upgrades that I had. Now I probably couldn't, but the lack of challenge made it feel that way. That said, the enemy variety, it is solid. The arenas, they are cool, and the grapple hook finisher? Chef's kiss. It's a fantastic addition that adds a satisfying final blow to your combos. However, when you stack Afterblast up against heavy hitters like RoboQuest and Battle Shapers, it's clear the competition is fierce, and to really stand out, the game could use some smoother movement, more polished animations, a deeper mechanic when it comes to the roguelike upgrades and so on and so forth. I mean, it's got potential, but it needs that extra oomph to compete in the genre. What do you think? Does Afterblast have what it takes, or is it just another roguelike shooter in an already stacked lineup? Let me know down in the comments. Jesus' very own macaronis served on a golden plate. That's how good this game is. Deliver at all costs didn't just meet my expectations, it obliterated them. Set in 1959, you play as a down-on-his-luck schmuck with no job and no real direction. That is, until he hears a radio ad from a delivery company looking for new hires. A few moments later, boom, you got the job. From the second you hit that gas, it's immediately clear that this is a passion project through and through. Every detail just smacks you in the face, from the music, characters and voice acting to the driving mechanics, environments and sheer chaos of it all. It somehow manages to make you feel cozy, exhilarated and completely unhinged at the same time. And the fun, it doesn't stop there. The story, hilarious and easy to follow. The world, begging to be explored. There's side characters to meet, hidden cars to find, crafting mechanics, upgrades and of course stacks of cash to earn. But let's talk about what really matters, the deliveries, because in this game you don't deliver the goods, you risk your life and limb to make sure that they arrive. In the first mission, deliver a pack of fireworks you shall, and they start going off mid-drive, launching rockets into pedestrians, cars and even your own goddamn truck. Second mission, transport rotten melons that need to be refreshed. And how do you do that? By breaking into restricted areas while trying to not drop a single melon from your truck. It's pure chaos from start to finish, and I haven't even mentioned the insane destruction physics yet. Think Red Faction levels of destructibility, watching buildings crumble as you plow through them. It is satisfying as hell. Deliver at all costs isn't just fun, it's an absolute must freaking play. Now, as a huge fan of Lost in Random's art style, I knew I had to check this one out. But let's get one thing straight, the Eternal Die is nothing like Lost in Random, aside from its gorgeous dark fairy tale aesthetics. Instead, this is a top-down roguelike hack and slash, and a damn good one at that. Now, like many other roguelikes, you will be hacking your way room by room through waves of enemies, deadly hazards and massive bosses, all leading up to the next area. And of course, there's a hub world where you can acquire permanent upgrades, but what really stand out is its deep and unique upgrade system during runs. Now, I won't pretend like I fully wrapped my head around every detail of how it works. It's really complex and it does a lot of interesting things, but the game doesn't do the best job at explaining it up front. Thankfully, you eventually unlock a journal that helps clear things up a bit. That said, I won't complain too much about it, because let's be real, the deeper the roguelike mechanics, the longer the game stays fun. As long as things don't get overwhelming, I'm all for it, and the Eternal Die manages to strike that balance pretty well. And on top of all of that, the game delivers where it truly counts. Stunning visuals that nail that eerie Tim Burton-esque world. Fantastic audio and voice acting that brings the atmosphere to life. Satisfying combat that blends melee, magic, and its signature die mechanic into something fresh and fun. At the end of the day, Eternal Die is a solid, addictive, and highly replayable roguelike that's easy to recommend. Hey you. Yeah you. Are you liking what you're seeing so far? Are you one of those who like violent video games, brutal action games? Well, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I got tons more to show you, just like this and even crazier. And while you're at it, if you like to discuss video games, find out new, very well hidden indie gems, then you should join the Discord, link down in the description. Not only is it loaded with fantastic people that wants to be your friend, but it's also loaded with great video game hunters. So join today. If you don't like it, you can never leave, but it's still worth it. Quake 3 meets the world of indie games. Yep, that's the best way to describe Sind Arena, a game that brings the high-speed, adrenaline-pumping action of classic arena shooters, but with a twist. And here's the big one, there is no multiplayer, at least not at launch, you're only playing against bots. Now while that might sound disappointing at first, it's actually a smart move. Let's be honest, modern arena shooters, they have struggled to build and maintain a healthy player base. Starting with bot-based gameplay ensures that Sind Arena actually has people, or at least AI, to play against from day one. But don't get me wrong here, this isn't just a Quake clone. Sind Arena has plenty of unique elements like a variety of weapons and arenas that shake things up. And a really small but lively hub world where you can interact with NPCs and challenge them to 1 versus 1 duels. Win and you earn permanent power-ups. Honestly, it's a great addition that adds some much needed progression to a genre like this. That said though, I wish that the game went even deeper with this reward system. And I'm also really missing a character select screen right now. You're stuck playing as a single character that you don't even get to see. And sure, the gameplay and arenas lean toward the simpler side, but at the end of the day, Sind Arena is still worth talking about because we desperately need more arena shooters in today's gaming landscape. Now if you glanced at the title and thought that I misspelled it, nope. It's actually called Shotgun CopMan. Yeah, it's that kind of a game. From the creators of My Friend Pedro comes yet another wacky, fast-paced and ridiculously fun action game. This time you play as a slow-moving cop, armed with only his pistol and trusty shotgun. And let's be real, it's all about the shotgun here. And I mean that literally. The core mechanic of the game revolves around shotgun movement. Walking, way too slow. Instead, you aim your shotgun, fire left to propel right, blast it downwards to jump, and so on and so forth. You got multiple shells before needing to reload, and that lets you chain movements together in an insanely satisfying way. But once you're out of bullets, you better land on solid ground, because that's the only time that Shotgun CopMan auto-reloads. And while that might sound simple, this development team is legendary at taking a straightforward concept, cranking up the punchiness and designing challenging levels that forces you to master the mechanics, just like they did with Pedro. And that said, does it live up to My Friend Pedro? Based on the demo, not quite. But let's be fair, Pedro is one of my all-time favorite side-scrollers, so not hitting that level doesn't mean that Shotgun CopMan isn't awesome, because it absolutely is. It's fast, it's fun, and it's yet another chaotic masterpiece from a team that knows exactly how to make action games hit freaking hard. Incredible. Just incredible. Fumes is what happens when you take the chaotic car combat of Twisted Metal, mix it with old school rally physics and throw it into a massive, lawless Mad Max style world. And the craziest part? This entire game was developed by just one person. Now right from the start, everything feels meticulously designed, from the menus and the HUD to open world wasteland that feels huge and alive, and even in just the demo, there is a ton to do. There is some brutal car combat with weighty, satisfying destruction, a variety of enemies to battle and bosses to take down, new weapons to unlock and different cars to acquire, customization options to fine-tune your ride, diverse mission objectives from transporting packages to taking out rival racers. But what really sets Fumes apart is how damn good it feels to drive. The handling is inspired by classic rally games with a bouncy suspension and responsive physics that makes every turn, jump and crash an absolute freaking joy, even on keyboard and mouse. And while Fumes looks awesome in the trailers, it is best experienced firsthand. Seriously, don't sleep on this one. Go and download the demo and take it for a spin. You will not regret it. Ever heard of a first-person booter? No? Well, let me introduce you to Glum, a game where you play as a crude, ass-kicking goblin armed with nothing but his magical ultra-destructive boot. And trust me, that boot does some serious mother-flipping damage. This game is pure, chaotic madness, blending physics-based combat, ridiculous violence, and dark humor, and of course some platforming that you wouldn't really expect in a game like this. The crazier and more sadistic you get, the more stylish points the game rewards you. And after playing through countless of mediocre demos, Glum, it just felt like a beacon of light shining brighter than my freshly polished head. Sure, your only weapon is your foot, but don't let that fool you, man. This isn't just about kicking. You can unlock insane new abilities, like turning your shoe into a freaking rocket launcher or enchanting it with magic to pull objects in different directions. The way you can combine kicks, spells, and environmental destruction makes for some of the most creative combat that I've seen in some time. And it doesn't even stop there. Glum delivers a ton of personality, from its over-the-top blood splats and hilarious voice acting to the colorful environments that somehow make all the carnage feel cheerful? It's wacky, it's fun, and it absolutely kicks major ass. So are you ready to boot your way through madness? Let me know what you think down in the comments about this one. So if you love fast-paced, brutal shooters, then Into the Void needs to be on your radar. It plays a lot like Cruel or Mullet Magic, but with a unique art style that sets it apart. And while I know the simple color palette and doodle-like visuals might scare some of you off, trust me, this game is the real deal. The headshots, they feel amazing. The level design, it is tight. And the audio, well, it pulls everything together into an experience that's way more polished than you'd expect. And if the black and white aesthetics isn't your thing, no problem. Just head into the options and swap it out for a black and green or pink or whatever color scheme suits your style. You can even tweak individual parts of the game's visuals, like changing the color of just the blood or just the outlines, letting you create a look that's completely your own. Personally, I simply love that feature. Thank you, broski, for watching all the way to the end. You know, retention is everything on YouTube, so this means the world to me. And if you're a member, a big freaking shout out to my fantastic members who actually help me make money doing what I'm doing here. I love you all. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Papa Slim loves ya.